Hi everyone, good morning. GERD has had the difficult mission of assuring us that our future is better than we all thought or think. So now our mission is much more easier. We just have to tackle in this 40-minute panel the challenges of the twin transition in Portugal, Europe, and the rest of the world. It looks like an easy job. With me, I will have three speakers that will share with us different projects in these two areas, digitalization and sustainability. But to begin with, we will have a video message from Krista Swang that could not join us, unfortunately, today in this incredibly beautiful place. So we will start by listening to her.
Dear participants, I'm delighted to be able to participate at this important event, Boost, Building Better Tourism. I regret not to be able to join you in person. As President of the European Economic and Social Committee, I represent the voice of organized civil society in Europe. Our institution is composed of 329 members from 27 member states. We represent 90 million voices representing businesses, workers, NGOs, farmers, and civil society organizations at large. Today, we discuss the twin green and digital transition for the future of tourism. Tourism is the heart of our European economy. It generates wealth, creates jobs, and fuels our welfare systems. Before COVID-19, tourism accounted for nearly 10% of the EU's GDP, provided around 22.6 million jobs, and made the EU the world's leading tourism destination. The COVID-19 pandemic and the war in Ukraine severely impacted the EU's tourism sector and have shown the vulnerability of the tourism ecosystem to external shocks. The income of countries and regions relying on tourism has suffered. Up to 40% of jobs were lost in some areas. I believe we can learn from this experience and build a more resilient and sustainable tourism ecosystem that benefits from digital and green opportunities and innovation. Cooperation and exchange of best practices at regional and national level, as well as across countries, will be key to the success. And we must adjust. Mobility and tourism patterns have changed. Domestic tourism is expected to lead the sector's recovery. While the recovery of international tourism will last through to 2025, travel demand is expected to remain below its pre-pandemic trajectory until 2024. 99.8% of all companies in the tourism ecosystem are SMEs. They now face various challenges, in addition to the green and digital transitions. European tourism SMEs are generally characterized by a low degree of digitalization. For instance, only 59% used social media and internet for advertising in 2021. They suffer from a lack of skills, finance and infrastructure, as well as mentoring and policy support. In terms of credit and finance, we need to extend EU and national funding and develop new and fast forms of financing for micro businesses, particularly for the food service and the hotel industries, as well as women-led businesses. SMEs also need to be increasingly included in public and private partnerships. In addition, we must not forget to prioritize vocational and educational training for SMEs at national and regional level. It is important to provide training to tourism entrepreneurs, particularly micro SMEs, workers and destination managers in support of the green and digital transitions. As for the green and digital transition, the industry still suffers a lack of awareness of the benefits of greening and digitalization. For instance, applying circularity actions that result in reduced costs in the long term, promoting businesses by using ecological labels. Access to data, both publicly and privately held, is increasingly important for tourism providers to take up innovative technologies and to develop resource-efficient and innovative services. However, we see a lack of skills and resources in developing sustainable business innovations. I also believe that new business models will be developed triggered by global interdependency and greener and more digital tendencies in consumer behavior. To better support the tourism sector, the ESC calls for creating better targeted policies, allocating sufficient financial resources, and facilitating investments. Together, we need to develop a long-term, sustainable, smart, and responsible European tourism policy strategy. The objective is to develop a more sustainable, inclusive, attractive, and interconnected tourism and transport business model that will be fit for the global market demands and changing lifestyles. Our committee has been very active in tourism over the last few years. We will continue to stress the need to work in partnership and close cooperation with businesses, public authorities, social partners, and other stakeholders. Only then we will get tangible results that work on the ground. I'm convinced that together we can support Europe's tourism sector in strengthening its resilience, make it more innovative and fit for the green and digital future. I wish you a fruitful meeting.
So now let the games begin here in stage. I will start to ask each of our speakers to dive into each other's projects by having a short introduction of each other to the different projects that we are going to share in this panel. Carlos, do you want to begin?
Of course. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here in Matosinhos, a great city and great place as well. Regarding this twin transition and all that has been said today, of course, this twin transition approach, it's like a great opportunity for technology and data to leverage sustainability. And in Porto and north of Portugal, Tourism Board as agency, we work and we are working on that, on sustainability. We need to create value for our local communities and also run the path through sustainability. And I say run, sometimes we walk, but run is the term. It's very urgent to do that. So we are now in 2023 starting a new movement regarding sustainability. We are going to start to contact our partners, private and public partners through that. It's going to be a movement, a commitment, so that we can help each other and aggregate all the good things that we are doing, so that our partners can initiate, accelerate, densify their sustainability transition. And of course, with a main goal, a short-term goal, which is the certification of the region as a sustainable destination. That's what we are doing mainly on sustainability. It's going to be a great year on that theme. And also digitalization. We are doing all our communication, all our promotion. We are gathering all the data with all our campaigns, with our partners, that give us all the information about the tourists and how we are being perceived in our market, of course, with the Portugal Tourism Board. But now we are very happy to announce that we are going to launch in 2023 a regional e-marketplace where we can gather all the offers, we hope, from our partners in one place, so the tourists can have a seamless experience and have all the information and our value proposition in one application or a kiosk or a store or an online store. And for us, it's very important because it will improve our performance, but also we can bring all the offer that sometimes it's not possible to have. For example, some of our partners, we were listening from the last from Krista. They don't have the maturity of we usually have on digitalization. Some of them are not online. Some of them don't sell online. So we have a very diversified offers regarding region, territorial cohesion, and also regarding cultural aspects and experience that they might have, and without us, they wouldn't be able to present them. So that's what we are going to do regarding these two themes. It's very important for us that we mix these two areas.
And we'll go back to that
Okay.
further on. And Laura, can you please share with us the context, the general context, because we are talking about the initiatives that you are launching in 2023, but for now, just to present what you're doing and how do you see these twin transition challenges in the context of tourism.
Sure. So thanks a lot for having us here. I'm happy to represent EU Travel Tech here today. First of all, EU Travel Tech is the association representing the travel technology companies in Brussels. We represent companies such as online travel agencies such as Booking.com and Expedia Group, who is here with us today, but also meta search websites such as Skyscanner and the global distribution systems such as Amadeus and Travelport. So digitalization is really part of our DNA, and we think that what digitalization and technology have brought to travel and tourism today is really greater transparency, so allowing consumers to see what options are out there in terms of choosing the right accommodation, booking a trip or browsing through different attractions in a specific destinations. And there is a lot more that can be done. We heard our previous great speaker about the technology that is out there, including artificial intelligence, but the important thing is also the purpose and the way that this technology will be used. And I'd like to focus, in terms of digitalization, I'd like to focus in particular on data sharing, because we think that it is really at the core of progress in the travel and tourism space. And this also relates ultimately to sustainability, to the sustainability of this sector. So at European level, a lot is being done on data sharing. It's one of the cornerstone of the agenda of this legislature. You might have heard of the Data Act. In the tourism space, there are specifically 3 initiatives that EU Travel Tech has been working on that are initiated by the EU institutions that we think are really incredible to help the sector progress. One is a proposal that was launched last year on short-term rentals. The proposal wants to create a harmonized framework for the registration of hosts, but most importantly, it mandates data sharing between short-term rental platforms and member states, so that local authorities and member states can have better visibility on short-term rental activity data and take more informed decisions in terms of how they want to deal with short-term rentals at the local level. And we really look forward to this proposal being adopted in the coming months and to make it operational, because again, online platforms will have an important role to play in terms of sharing their activity data. Another one is a code of conduct on data sharing. So this is a voluntary initiative and is one of the first steps in the creation of the so-called European data space for tourism. And the initiative essentially begins from one challenge, the fact that today it remains overwhelming for most organizations to deal and work with data in terms of privacy, security, but also data access issues. So the Code of Conduct really wants to create a governance framework to allow data agreements to be more easily concluded between different partners, so between the private sector, but also between the private and the public sector. And finally, and most importantly, another data sharing initiative is the so-called Multimodal Digital Mobility Services Initiative that the European Commission should launch in the coming months. And we look forward to that as well. And that comes from another challenge, the fact that today booking a multimodal journey, so a journey involving different modes of transport in one go, is difficult. And this depends also on the fact that it's difficult for ticketing platforms to obtain data from transport operators. And this initiative should make this possible. So tomorrow we should be able to really book our trip with different modes of transport, seeing what modes of transport are out there that could more efficiently but also more sustainably help us reach our destination. So I will stop here. There will be, for sure, more
We
that
have
can be said.
a lot of food for thought. Ivan, can you give us a quick overview about on Expedia strategy and priorities? And then we will dive in later.
Thanks, Ruth. First of all, Happy New Year, everyone. So it's a little bit late, but I couldn't imagine a better place to start the year, and also a better and such a challenging topic like the one we're going to discuss today for the future of our industry. First of all, I would like to thank Ruth, of course, and my colleagues for exchanging this time together, and also to the organizers and the city of Matosinhos, because they have made everything possible so that this event today can be super successful, as we can see it's being. So, small words to introduce Expedia Group. Expedia Group, we call ourselves, let's say, a tech company that powers the travel sector. This would be our purpose. Gerd was talking about purposes. We were one of the pioneers in the digitalization of travel, and we still try to be pioneers because we believe travel is a force for good. So we believe travel helps bridge divides, helps close gaps, helps connect cultures, and we think that travel adds a positive value to human and social development. And what are we doing now? As we have this firm belief that travel is a force for good, we are working to make this digitalization or this technology that we use to do our business, we try to open it to all the tourism ecosystem. Normally, we travel a lot with DMOs, with associations, with governments, but what we are trying now is to make available to all the ecosystem, to offline players who are working in the tourism and travel sector, to SMEs, to startups that want to benefit from the full, let's say, powers of digitalization, from them to be able to access our resources, services, and products. This is what we have called our open world strategy, where we will be able to exchange with these players from all over the world, no matter the size, no matter the focus. They will be able to have access to all our solutions in fraud, in payments. This is our, let's say, humble contribution to digitalization. But at the same time, and aligned with this will to contribute to spread the benefits of digitalization on the travel sector, part of the twin transition, it's also the sustainability factor that Gerd was explaining to us. We have presented our strategic framework for sustainability and social commitment, also in the framework of Open World. I will be able to explain later, but just to give you a summary, we are going to focus on promoting inclusivity in travel. We know that travel is a force for good, but still we know that in lots of our societies, in lots of parts of the world, there are groups that are not enjoying the benefits of travel, and we all can think about the specific groups. Second, to make travel a source of welfare for underrepresented collectives. There are lots of collectives that are not harnessing nowadays the benefits of travel and tourism as a welfare generator. And third, of course, to contribute to a planet that is more prosperous and sustainable.
So let's look closer to each project. I would ask Carlos to share this marketplace project that you are launching this year, because I think this is all about collaboration and also tackling the two challenges of this twin transition, one of the digital revolution and also of sustainability. So what kind of details can you give us by now about that project?
This is a project that we are working with the Portugal Tourism Board. It's an initiative from the Portugal Tourism Board. And we are Porto and North. We have 4 sub-regions. We have Porto, Douro Valley, Minho, and Trás-os-Montes. And of course, we're very focused on the territorial cohesion, which is a very strong word, but we work really on that. And through all that, we have a lot of diversified offers, and the value proposition of Porto Norte is very important. For example, here we have the best fish in the world, but I can see, and we have the proof of that. But also in Braga, we have represented from Braga, we have the cultural area from UNESCO, and you have nature in Jerez, you have the wine in Douro, and all the experience. We have a lot of companies, and we are performing very well. But we need to go forward, and this will help us. We will have. This is the same for sustainability or digitalization. We have to work together in this ecosystem, try to reduce the gap between the innovation areas and the people that are in the field. So this is very important for us, and what we are going to do, we are putting all the efforts on promoting e-marketplace, a regional, that if it goes well, and we hope so, it will be amplified through the rest of the country. And we have all the diversified offers that we have in Porto Norte there. We'll make all the communication, and of course it will be very collaborative, because our partners will have to put their information, their content and all that, but we will invest in media so that we can reach and we can give the tourists the best seamless experience all in one place. So collaboration will definitely be the word for us in 2023 regarding sustainability or digitalization. And of course, we were talking about sharing data. This is, of course, sharing will be also the word on that, because data will be very important. We are always looking. I've worked with Expedia before regarding some data as well. So that's what we're going to do. We are trying to build a place that is better for everyone, for the tourists, but of course, as we are saying, we need to also regarding sustainability as well. So it's transversal on that. So we have to invest and stress the education, training, and reskilling and upskilling on digitalization and sustainability, so that we can improve and create value for the region and, of course, for the country. And that's I can tell much because we are developing the process, but the core is that you know what a marketplace is, and we will try to aggregate that. We will not compete with Booking or Expedia. We will be more focused on services, and so that we can democratize the offer democratize and diversify the offers. Because regarding sustainability as well, economic sustainability, because we hope to improve the profits as well, but also the cultural, because we will give access to some experience that is not easy to get, some immaterial patrimony of UNESCO, like I'm forgetting the word, so the Podense Carnival, or also Bizanais, the black. I'm missing the word, but in English. But we have a lot of actions that are very cultural and very authentic, and we need to improve that. So.
Can you just give us a quick overview on how will this marketplace work?
Yeah.
What can I do as a citizen when I?
No, you as a tourist, you have a platform, a marketplace where you can have everything, since services, since all the types of service that our partners provide, and you will see what you can see what you can use, what you can buy, and all in the same place, and get access to all the territories that we promote, and all the services from a main activity, some specific experience like fishing in Matosinhos, and then go from the farm to table, from the sea to table, all the experience that we can have, from the main one to the most personalized one. So
okay.
And there you can see all the content. And it's like a marketplace. It's a real marketplace, but it's like you have everything in one website, and a seamless experience for the tourist.
Do we have already a launch date for that?
No, we don't. We just the line has just been approved, so we are working on that with our partnerships and see
Okay.
but this will be the year, I guess.
Okay. And Laura, your 3 initiatives concern short rentals, data sharing, and multimodal transportation. I think we do not have to explain why do Travel Tech think these are priorities in the tourism context, but we would like to know a little bit more of each of these initiatives. What you're meant to do with short rentals, data sharing? I think it's something common ground to all the initiatives, but also about multimodal transportation.
Sure. So first of all, these are initiatives that the EU is launching. So we are obviously working with the institutions, working with other stakeholders to make sure that they are fit for purpose. But these are, again, public initiatives, and everybody will be able to benefit from them. And again, on short-term rentals, the idea is really to ensure that local authorities have data on short-term rental activities, so how many people are coming to a specific town for how many nights, because one of the challenges with short-term rentals so far has been that there wasn't enough visibility for the local authorities. So these proposals should make it possible, and online platforms will share this data, and that's why we want to really work with the member states to make these operational, because there will be digital infrastructure to be built, and it's important that there is interoperability and that this digital infrastructure and this data sharing can also work based on how the platforms share
So
this
that to be
data.
possible, it means that we will have data sharing from different stakeholders, from
short-term rental platforms to the member states.
Okay.
And so the code of conduct is more of an initiative of a voluntary nature, but again, it's about ensuring that there are some principles that everybody shares when a data agreement is concluded between 2 different parties. And finally, the multimodality initiative is what we really strongly care about. Because again, right now for ticketing platforms, it's difficult to obtain data for transport operators, and therefore, for instance, for a certain journey, you cannot show all the different transport options. So it's mostly flights, but in the future, you might also see, for instance, how to reach a certain destination combining a flight and a train and a bus, so that you can actually make the choice of travel more sustainably, because you can see what options are available. So behind this data sharing initiative, there is also the sustainability element. And we, of course, when we browse the web and look for options to reach a destination, we generally look for flights mostly because it's the quickest way. But if we really have full visibility on what the options that are available, we think that some travelers would make the choice of traveling more sustainably. And in fact, some studies already point to the fact that people care about traveling sustainably.
Ivan, Expedia is very much concerned on the issue of inclusivity, as you have said previously, and also in the context of your sustainability strategy, this issue plays an special role. How are you drafting all this in the common strategy towards this twin transition?
Yeah, thanks, Ruth. No, as I was saying, in this strategic framework for social commitment sustainability, we have defined like 3 axes. And one is the one of inclusivity. Because we see that lots of debates at the policy level and with experts, we see that tourism and travel have a negative impact, no? Because we are sometimes to the planet because of carbon footprint, etc. But sometimes we forget that a big part of the world is not experiencing the benefits of travel. This is clear. And at the same time, some groups have been traditionally, let's say, forgotten in the travel industry. And we are not only talking about some groups that have not been, let's say, respected, like LGTB, but also people with accessibility problems. So what we are trying to do is to add the component of inclusivity in all our initiatives that we are doing in the framework of social commitment and sustainability. So we understand we have to care for the climate, but also we have to care for the people, as Gerd was mentioning before. We are designing inclusive routes. We are working with our partners so that the consumers, when they have to take the decision to what, let's say, hotel to choose, what apartment to choose, depending on our brands in Expedia, in hotels.com, in Vrbo, that they have this information, that it's critical for them, and that will let them have the same right that other groups have.
Do you have numbers on that? How many people are looking for different solutions because they have different profiles of traveling? Because maybe they are pregnant, maybe they are 19 years old, maybe they have some disability that made us look for different options. How many people in Europe, for instance, are we talking about? Do we know that?
I don't have the exact figures in this respect, but what we are feeling is that we have this demand. We have this demand in all our brands, because the difference between Expedia Group and some of our competitors is that we call ourselves, we are like a house of brands. So we have Expedia, that gives the name to our group, but we have hotels.com, we have Vrbo, we have Travelocity, we have other brands. We are also majority stakeholders of Trivago. And with all these brands that normally are targeting different groups, like Orbitz, for instance, it's not really famous in Europe, but it's famous in other parts of the world. And Orbitz is extremely sensitive, was the first travel digital brand in the world to care about LGBTI+. With these different sources, we get this information, and we feel the need, and we have detected this need to make a further inclusion. We have reports that we do every year, analysis on sustainability in broader terms, and I have some figures interesting that maybe I could share also with here. So for instance, I have it here because I don't want to make any mistake, but we had curious findings. We are making polls all around the world with a big samples, and we get to know that 7 out of 10 travelers would be able to pay more for a sustainable travel. This is a big, right? This is a big finding, like 70%. But curiously, 74% think that traveling in a sustainable way is nowadays too expensive. While the consumer would be able to pay more for this extra of sustainability, they say, but it's too expensive. This is very interesting. And also, but there is a hope factor, that is that 70% of our travelers would be able, let's say, to lose a little bit of comfortability for sustainability. And this is critical because we had never seen this before. So it means that customers are starting to understand that there's an effort that they can also make, their contribution.
They have to collaborate.
Exactly.
Yes, that's good news. Gerd was right. The future is better than we think.
Exactly.
Carlos, about the movement for sustainability, let's go on with it in this conversation, because all of this is about collaboration. All of this is getting people together to a common goal, to common goals, not just one common goal. What are you doing here in Porto and North Portugal?
With the sustainability agenda acceleration that we had in the last years, we had to rethink the role of Porto and North Tourism Board regarding sustainability. And we are promoters, so we count on our partners. We count private and public. And here we had some examples what Matosinhos is doing regarding sustainability. Other municipalities are doing very well. Also CEIA from Matosinhos are doing very great. Also the municipality of Porto regarding the mobility, urban mobility. And what we are doing, we are trying to bring everything together, so we as a region can have a greater impact. And also, of course, because as Ivan was saying, we have to work also on the perception, run the path, and then talk about communication on that side. And run the path with our partners. And of course, some will leverage others, some will push others, and be agents on training, reskilling, and implement and learn along the process. And of course, the main goal for us is try to certificate the region as a sustainable region, Porto North sustainable region, regarding all the programs that we have here. Some of our municipalities are doing that, and it looks simple, but to bring everything together will be very difficult. But that's our goal. And as we are saying, collaboration, getting together these different ecosystems, try to reduce the gap between the knowledge, the data, the innovation, with the agents that are in the field, in the sector, that work every day for a better tourism and a better economy.
That movement for sustainability, how many partners will get together?
We will try to get everyone. So we will try to get everyone, because we are not doing a stamp.
It's an open movement.
It's a movement. It's like a commitment. Okay. When you go to see the OMT sustainability goals, and you commit for 2, 3, 4 sustainability goals, and it's like a commitment. But most of our partners just do that, already do that. So we'll push others. We will accelerate other process. We'll help them, and we will and others will justify what they do in this sustainable transition.
Okay, Ana-Laura, we didn't talk yet about legislation and how can it help to have this greener Europe and also more sustainable way of traveling. What are you doing in Travel Tech on this, and working directly, I suppose, with the European Commission?
So what we do is exactly to understand and follow the different initiatives at EU level, and understand how our members can help make these initiatives fit for purpose, as well as also explain the travel technology sector, what the sector is about, and how it can help reach certain objectives in the area of travel, tourism, sustainability, and innovation. And there is a lot of innovation out there, so we think that at this point the objective should be to really align the innovation with also the general objectives in terms of, again, sustainability and digitalization of the European tourism sector. And it will be really important to create this alignment and make sure that when a certain product is developed, is done also from the design stage with these objectives in mind. And we think that this is already happening. One of the objectives in the European tourism agenda is really trying to not concentrate tourism in certain seasons and destinations, and the transparency that platforms have brought in terms of, again, showcasing different options out there, we think is already helping achieve a greater distribution of tourism flows in different areas than the ones that are generally more crowded, for instance. Or we are also investing and researching in how to display and communicate in the most accurate way sustainability information, because again, travelers want to travel more sustainably, but it's important also that they know how to do it, and that there is information out there for them to choose the most sustainable accommodation or the most sustainable transport option. So we hope that there will be some alignment in terms of what is out there, what the objectives are, and the regulatory framework.
Evan, again, looking at the Expedia strategy, one of your pillars is an accelerator that will bring into the platform and to your ecosystem small operators, small businesses that probably need some help to move on in these challenges of digital revolution and also sustainability. How is it going to work?
Thank you for this question. Yeah, just a little bit to set the framework. In Expedia, we have, with this open world strategy, we have been for years being a relevant B2B partner in the travel industry. So if you ask any travel agent in your country, in your city, maybe they are working with us because we are helping them to reach the supply that they need for their clients. Okay, this is the part that is related to the business as usual, but thanks to the open world philosophy, we will be able to give more tools to these business partners. But in parallel, we are trying also to help, to favor the development of this ecosystem that can in the future, why not, collaborate in a commercial way with us. What we have launched last September, it's the first time we have done this in Expedia Group, is an accelerator targeting SMEs and the startups. So not only startups, also SMEs, so companies that are already established that want to digitalize and want to help develop their capabilities thanks to digitalization in the travel sector, but they have been chosen because they have in its roots, in its DNA, in its way of making the business, a clear focus on inclusivity. With these companies that have been selected, now they are starting to have access to our, let's say, knowledge trainings by our lead product managers, lead tech directors, and also they will receive, let's say, direct funding from Expedia, and they also will be able to get to know how a big company like ours works. So we help to make this accelerator bigger every year and to be able to help SMEs from all over the world, startups from all over the world to benefit from this.
Okay, we have run out of time because time flies when we have good conversations. Just a quick wrap up. We have been talking about more collaboration, a deeper compromise towards sustainability, and also a common ground facing this digital revolution that goes from operators, companies, places like here, Matosinhos or the north of Portugal, and also Europe. I think we can say by now that there are good things in our way. Girl is right about the future again. So let me thank you all for being here with us today and tomorrow, and thank you to our speakers for sharing with us all of these ideas.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you
you
so much.
Thank you.